Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another FICM, actually coming from Justin Frank. I think his customer is Mark. They're from Texas. They sent another FICM because the first time, well, the first FICM that they got, it was actually butchered, which is really not much difference of this one. And I'm going to show you in a second. Well, you see I have everything right here connected and ready to go. I got even the Pico scope. So I'm not sure which company is the one they're getting the FICM from. But what they're trying to do is really unfair because they make it seem like it's working, and they have actually to a point that is kind of work. But I'm going to show you what we have here. So this is the FICM. That is the paperwork, so they can see that is theirs. It ripped a little bit of gas in the box with the um, tape that they put onto. But let me zoom a little closer. Yeah, so you guys can see I have it power up, so I have to be careful because I'm going to be doing some tests with you. Well, I want you to see first is that area that we have here. All right, so that is a big hole, and that is not uncommon. You know that some of the FICMs get burned in there, but if you're not careful enough, you will destroy the passages or pads that are there because this is the injector controlled pre-driver that will command all the injectors drivers, right? Then we have the microprocessor, memories, and then the voltage regulator area, which is up to 47 sub-volts. It's steady, right? Because this can go up to like 100 volts when the actual injectors are working. But, well, first of all, we can see the garbage they put here. And I'm going to show you a picture of how that should look. All right, so I got this picture in here. All right, so this is an original image that I'm going to use. I got as you can see, the oscilloscope in there, ready to go. And it's, like I said, it's power up. So this is how FICM should look. This is actually one of my repairs, and I put, the resistant coating, put 6 layers of resistant coating after the repair with all the drivers new and capacitors. Sometimes I get the blue capacitors, and sometimes I get, brown capacitors. That all depends on the manufacturers I use, but those are quality parts. As you can see, the size of these two and even these three is nowhere near this. I mean, this is, like I said, that is a joke. Very very no good. I mean, let me take you back to the screen recording, which I have all the pictures, so I'm going to show you. Well, first I'm going to open this one. This is, I always take a picture before opening it up. That's the first thing I notice. Is this well, already a previous repair. I do not like to work in components that were already with previous attempt repairs because of the same situation. Garbage, I mean, destroy boards. That is definitely at the end not repairable. We can see multiple areas. First, let me just get the mouse in here. So the capacitor should be coming out of this hole, and same in here. They make it go through another area of the board. No idea why. I mean, could be corrosion. We can see immediately shorted pads in here. That is already a pads to the injector pre-driver. They're shorted. And they're not going to be shorted. You can see it immediately here. That will be short until you connect it in the car, and then the pre-driver commands that. And as soon as that is done, it's done. And that ejector pre-driver, it's only one company that sells it, which I'm obviously not going to disperse because that's my own information. But they're the only ones that has it, and they charge like it's almost a module price. We can see the blobs of solder left over, which yeah, let's say it's not that clean, but not that bad compared to the other one, at least, right? Hey, Sonos, stop the music. Not sure what that does sometimes, but all right. So again, more pictures for my records and the customer's records. And this is what I see on the other side. Again, these very low quality capacitors. These not so bad, but again, nothing to hold them in place. These are definitely not the correct size. because if you go back to that picture that I show you, there is very minimum spacing between the capacitors, the correct capacitors, and then you have to put, all these white blobs in here. It's a special silicone that is component safe and not conductive to hold the capacitors in place for the vibration, because this is sitting on top of the engine. So this is definitely going to, come apart. We can see the amount of debris from whatever grinding they did in here. And we can see, many pads exposed. You see all the shiny areas in here. That is exposed. You're not supposed to leave anything of that exposed. You can see all the fingerprints of whoever was working in here. So, yeah, I mean, they tried to make it work. And then just, as soon as they communicate to something, they connect it and then they sell it as a repair unit. And that is not true. I mean, we can definitely see the butcher. And the problem is they bought already past their missing completely here. I mean, you can see, where are these two pads going into here? So they just grind the hole, remove the short, and put it back together. So the unit will talk, right? And they show you like, oh yeah, it's talking. I can read, I can read it, and then they sell it to you. Again, that's a scam. I don't know again who is doing that, but this is another not repairable unit. All right, so let's go back to the test that I want to share with you. Sorry, guys. Well, first, as you can see, yeah, the transceiver. This is the CAN transceiver built into this tool, into this module. It's talking. So you will be able to read it, but that will not give you much faults until it's in the truck. All right, so this is number one. Let me go back to. I actually want to put that image here. So this is my image. I'm going to put the meter and then the picoscope in there. So what I want you to see is I'm going to read some of the values that we have in here. So I'm going to just, let's say, I'm going to read, this one should be, I think it's 5 volts. And we got the 5 volts in there. So I'm going now to move over to this capture. I'm going to be seeing the image. And then I'm going to show you how, for first, like the voltage regulating area, which is in here, this should be, I'm going to have to put my glasses. Let me get the microphone close to myself. So we should read 5 volts in here. Yeah, the microphone is right away, right? Okay, so let me see. Yeah, you guys can see some. And we got the 5 volts that you see there. Now we should have 14 volts in here. And we do. 14 volts in the other one. And we do. And then 14 volts in here, which we do. So I gotta have on the other side, I gotta have in here 14 volts. Not sure which side. This side. Gotta be very careful. All right, so we got the 14 volts. Then we got a 5 volts in here. And we do. Then we should have 23 volts in here. And we do. And then we should have 2 volts on the next one, which we do. So as you can see, pretty much all the voltage regulating areas there. In these diodes, we should have 47 volts in here. And we do. But what is not happening properly because of, again, all the paths are missing, we should have 3.7 volts on this side. And we got 10 volts. So on this one, we should have 3.5 volts. We got 9.5. We should have 3.3 volts. And we got 9 volts. So that's no good. On the injector drivers outputs not being commanded, I should have 10 volts in here. We do. 10 volts in here. You see it's dropping. 10 volts in here. And when it's dropping, we should have 8 volts in here. We only got 6. So this is exactly what I was saying. Yes, they did repair some, but they left a lot out. So this is just in order to make it be able to at least come on. Obviously, with those kind of transistors that they put in here, I mean, what is this? They did something on one of the crystal oscillators. They open it up, and as you can see, this is the way the crystal oscillator should look. And we have something going on in here. So they did something to mimic probably the crystal and let the or fool the microprocessor. We have on the other side, we should have 6 volts in here. And we got 5.5, 6.4. You see what I mean? 6.4, 6.4. And in this one, we should have 47 volts. We do. So some of the areas, again, are power up. But the most important areas, injector drivers, injector pre-drivers, will not come on. And it might come on for a brief second, but I honestly don't know with all this brokerage in here. And when I find myself with holes through the board, let me get you guys to here. I think we need that much glare in here. Yeah. So what I found myself into a board like this, it's also drawing only 200 milliamps. It should be drawing around 0.9. And because especially with the test that I'm doing, right? So there's just power up probably around 0.3, 0.4. But the test that I'm doing, I am actually loading some of the areas, which I'm not going to show how I do it. Again, my secret recipe, right? But it's not happening. And this is how I know that this is partially dead. Would I include myself in trying to attempt a repair on this one? I probably not. The reason why is this is so butchered already that I would put in hours and hours and hours trying to find out what exactly they did to this to try to correct. And that will make me incur into many, many hours of just trying to say somebody else's BS. You know what I mean? So in this case, I will going to deem this, no, not repairable. I will going to deem this to either send it back and let it keep flowing with it, or get yourself another one. I will, again, if I find myself one that if somebody replaced the capacitors and nothing drilled through or damaged to, I might try to help the customer because I know that these are expensive. But when I find myself into something as deep as this, I want to remove myself away from. I will not even charge anything to this customer again. And this is wasting my time a second time. But, well, I will probably just talk to them and see if they want to recognize some of my time. Because I'm trying to help them, but I cannot be doing this forever, right? So, and I was trying not to charge because this realistically is just showing and proving them that this is a damaged FICM that is beyond repair. That is what I would consider beyond repair. But this will, the amount of hours that I would have to put in this to try to create a Frankenstein, right, to revive a dead body, it will probably surpass the price of getting a good FICM. And that's what I don't want to do. Because, yeah, it will be very, well, not even very good for me because I will have to spend too many hours. But at least I will make the money. But how durable that repair could be is what I would not even be able to warranty any of that. And that's why I will never touch anything like this because I do warranty my repairs. And that's why I have such a good reputation because I am being always honest with my customers and giving the correct recommendations. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.